Welcome to this episode of Fat Cloud TV, brought to you by Vaping. And in this episode, we'll be doing a tutorial on vape cotton change. Welcome to the up and close portion. I have the Lush Vape Triade DNA 250, and I'll be doing a vape cotton change on the Wotofo Lush Plus RDTA. The build in here, by the way, we did a review on this device. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. Links will be in the description. This is my most favorite triple 18650 wax mod currently on the market, even though it's a little bit older than some other mods. But anyway, so in the Wotofo Lush Plus RDTA, I don't necessarily need to change cotton, but I will. In this RDTA, I do have a fused Clapton build, ohming at, give me 1 second, 0.15 ohm. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the device because I don't want to accidentally fire it. Oh, before we get into it, I actually want to show what we'll be using. This is from the trusty Coilmaster DIY Toolkit version 3. You have the scissors, you have a ceramic tweezer. I'll also be using a Japanese organic cotton sheet, and to take out the cotton I'll just be using some ordinary tweezers. You could get this from anywhere really. Alright, to start off, I'll go ahead and take out the cotton out of the juice wells on the inside. Oh, okay, so I'll gently tug. And by the way, the diameter of this coil is 2.4 millimeter. So, depending on the diameter of the coil will determine how much cotton you have to take out, really. So I'm gonna go ahead. I find that with these type of tweezers, it's easier than ceramic tweezers because if the cotton is a little juicy, the ceramic tweezer will tend to slide and it'll be hard to grip. But this, with the metal, it's easier. From my experiences, that is. Even though you can use either one is just fine. This is just my personal preference. Alright, so now that the cotton is basically out, you want to go ahead and dry fire it. So I have this at about 60 watts. Now I'm going to go ahead and fire it a bit. See, there's plenty of juice in the coil. Don't worry about if it catches on fire or anything like that. That's typical. It's just burning off juice residue. Now, every time you change cotton, you want to make sure your coils are still glowing evenly, like when you first install them. By the way, if you're interested in learning how to do a simple coil build, or you're still new, be sure to check our video out. That'll help you, with installing coils, dual coil builds to be specific. But if you'd like to see a video on fused Claptons or Claptons in general, please let us know in the description, and we'll do our best to get one out for you. So I just want to make sure there's no hot spots here, and that's why we're using the ceramic tweezer. I'll go ahead and just do it. See, it's not sizzling anymore, so all the juice is off. There's no hot spots. So, this will be good. So what I'm going to do now is cut 2 strips of Japanese organic cotton and prepare to wick it. So I cut 2 strips of organic Japanese organic cotton, sorry about that. This is, like I said, for a 2.4 millimeter diameter coil. Depending on the diameter of your coil will determine how much cotton you actually use. So for this coil build specifically, this is how much cotton I'll be using. But first, I like to peel off the ends here because the insides are nice and fluffy, and that's what you want, as it helps with wicking efficiently and effectively. So I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. One is done. Here is the other. Go ahead and do this really quickly. I didn't want to do this off camera because this is an important step in my opinion when it comes to changing the cotton in your atomizer, especially if you're using Japanese organic cotton pads, which is probably one of the most popular wicking materials on the market today. If you don't know about them, or if you're interested in picking up some, links will be down in the description. So what I like to do is just cut it at an angle. And the reason why I do that is because it helps when you're first inserting the cotton into the coil. And also when you're just rolling it like this, which is what you want to do so it's easier. You don't have to do that. That's just something I've gotten used to doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for this side too. Now, depending on how much sweetener your e-liquid has, or how bad they are to your coils, will determine how much times you change your cotton per week. I typically change cotton in about 2 to 3 days, so it just tastes better always. Sometimes I'll go a week, but generally speaking, I do about 2 to 3 days. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this first piece of cotton, a strip of cotton, into the coil. Now you want to make sure it's, well, for this specific coil build, you want to make sure it's just on the tighter side to avoid any split back, because with these type of coils, depending on the atomizer, you can experience some split back. Also, you want to make sure it's fluffy. Okay, that looks good. So when you're pulling the cotton, you see it's not really moving, and that's what you want. You don't want the coil to move. You don't want the cotton to move. You just want to make sure there's enough resistance where you can do that, and you'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the other piece of cotton. Oops. There you go. So I'm going to do, and if it's difficult for you to pull the cotton through, you can always use a tweezer to grab the ends of it, and that'll help you. So sometimes too, I like to hold the coil with my finger and pull the cotton through to make sure it doesn't move, depending on how tight the wick is. So now that it's easy to pull, but you need some resistance, that's what you want. It's perfect. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to cut the cotton so where it touches the bottom of the juice well, which is what you want to do in any atomizer, really. And this Wotofo Lush Plus has a pretty decent sized juice well, to be honest with you. I was quite surprised when I first received it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I'll take this tweezer and I'll go ahead and fluff the cotton a little bit. And go ahead and put the cotton into the juice well. And there you have it. See how simple it is to easily change your cotton. It's incredibly easy. I remember when I first started vaping, I was scared to death to change my own coil and cotton, but now it's like second nature, really. Welcome back from the up close portion. I have the Lost Vape Triade DNA 250 with a Wotofo Lush Plus RDA. I'm vaping on some Jam Monster Blueberry. If you haven't checked out our review yet, links will be in the description. This is probably one of my favorite flavors up to now. The strawberry is my favorite. We do have a review coming for the new apple flavor. Be sure to check that out. So, changing cotton is relatively easy. The more you do it, the better you'll become at it. Like I said in the up close portion, I change my cotton, generally speaking, every 2 to 3 days. It depends, especially in the RDTA. I always want the best flavor every time I'm vaping, just so it's just a more pleasurable vape experience. I generally recommend, depending on the type of e-liquid you're using, to change cotton, give or take about 3 or 4 days. Now, if you're using e-liquid with a lot of sweetener, you're probably going to want to change it every 2 days, maybe. Sometimes, depending on e-liquid, I change it every day. For those with a ton of sweetener, really. If you felt like this video was helpful, feel free to give us a like. And if you want to see more from Fat Cloud TV, give us a subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. For now, keep it cloudy.